If you want to, all you have to do to find out the history of somebody is just tear through their layers of rugs. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Anthony, apropos of nothing, I've done a lot of thinking lately about liars and cheats and liars.
For no reason.
There's nothing external in the world going on that would make
It's everybody that's using those bot programs in Fall Guys, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all those people swiping those new Nvidia cards out from under me. That's what it is.
Jesus, right?
Yeah. You can't get a new console. You can't get yourself a Vidya card. It's all these liars and cheats.
These are the most important things people are lying and cheating about right now. Maybe the only things.
I can't think of anything else at the moment that has gotten me absolutely fuming and obsessed with cheating and lying. Mm-hmm. And it's good timing because our old friend Cahoots sent a new story that really caught my eye. Jeff Engelstein, Cahoots, as we like to call him.
Do you look at any of the other submissions? What is the kickback that you're getting from Cahoots?
We're in Cahoots. I love it.
He's a gamesmith, isn't he? He's sending you. It's because you're a board game nerd.
I love his board games so much. But his stories,
Christ.
These are top-notch choice stories, Carboni. These are good stuff.
I'm tired of hearing about Cahoots.
Cahoots sent this story from the New York Times, nonetheless. Knows
Fake
the thing
news.
about cheats and liars. This is a new study.
Knows the thing about cheats and liars. The New York Times doesn't always come down on them as hard as they could.
No, not they know a thing.
Something about them.
And they know a thing because they constantly quote a liar and a cheat.
Because they constantly allow them on their op-ed page. But that's fine. Go on.
Anywho, this is a new study, a fascinating new study that comes to us all the way, Anthony, from one of our favorite places, outer Spain.
I love outer Spain.
This comes all the way from outer Spain. In fact, to be more specific, the Universidad Autónoma de Madrid. This was a.
Do you think one day people will live in Madrid permanently? We'll have Spain stations.
Do you think we can colonize Madrid?
Do you think we can colonize Madrid and maybe people could live there? I think the longest anybody's ever walked on the surface of Spain is 147 days. As somebody's lived out there.
It's tough. We've simulated the living in outer Spain.
Oh, so much tapas.
To actually
we simulate, do it. We just eat a lot of tapas and we throw tomatoes at each other.
Yeah. You know what I hear about outer Spain?
What's that?
No one can hear you scream when you're there.
No.
When you're in outer Spain.
Nobody screams in outer Spain. No, except bulls.
Yeah. Anywho, this is a study about lying and cheating. Let me explain to you what was done. The first part of the study was they gathered 180 adult participants, and they asked them to flip a coin. It was a digital coin on a computer screen. We are in quarantine, even in outer Spain. But nonetheless, it was a 50-50 random coin flip process.
Jeff,
and they were
let me tell you something. As somebody who is a regular player on a Zoom call based D&D campaign, I am preemptively offended by this story. But go on. I think I know where this is going, and I'm offended.
This is that's funny. So then they were asked to say if they got a head or a tails. If you get heads, you get $5, the equivalent of $5 for getting.
They're Spain credits.
Yeah,
they're intergalactic Spain credits.
Intergalactic outer Spain credits. You know, they're units.
Yeah.
So, unbeknownst to the participants in the study, the actual result of all of the coin flips was recorded, but they were asked to self-report. And if they got a heads, $5, tails, nothing. Okay. So 20% of the people were honest. Actually, I should have asked you to guess, but 20% of the people were honest. Okay.
That's a little disappointing, actually.
It's very disappointing.
Can I tell you something? I've calibrated my brain for two different things, Jeff. whether something is actually disappointing and whether I'm surprised. Do you know what I mean?
Yo, yeah, I know what you mean.
I expected it to be much higher, but it's also disappointing that it was 20%. Is that weird?
Right? Yeah. So let me just be clear on the math. First, they removed all of the people that actually got heads on their first coin flip. Okay. So the people that got $5 legit are not even discussed in this study. Okay. Of the remaining people, of the people that flipped a coin and got tails, 20% of those were honest about it and said, I didn't get the $5. Bummer.
Okay.
20%
and they only got
of those
to flip
people.
once. Is that the deal?
Well, no. Keep listening.
Okay.
So then
don't talk down to me. How dare you? I have questions. I'm naturally curious. How dare you stamp that curiosity out of me? You're a father.
I'm getting there. Don't rush me. 10%, I mean, I should actually make you guess these. It's too late.
Yeah, make me guess.
10%.
I guess 10%.
Yeah. 10% flat out lied. Flipped to tails, set of heads. So those people are just liars. Just fucking liars. Now, there's an even crazier group that is, I think it doesn't say in this first study exactly the percentage of this group, but in the second study that I'll get to, 8% of them are this crazy thing that wouldn't even occur to me, which is they didn't flip the coin at all. They just said, I got a heads. They didn't even do it. They didn't even push the button. They didn't even see if they had to lie. They just decided to lie.
This is not crazy to me, Jeff, because you know what? When you sit down and you've made up your mind, I'm going to get that $5. It literally doesn't matter. If you're going to commit the crime, commit the crime. If you're going to go all the way. These people sat down and said, give me $5.
Give me $5. I'm not even doing anything. I'm not even going to jump through your hoop.
No, because I'm not even going to listen. Here's what I'm going to do. Because these people are playing 4-dimensional chess. They're 3 steps ahead. Because then somebody could ask them, hey, did you actually roll tails? And you can look at them and say, I absolutely did not roll tails.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
do you know
first
what
of
I mean?
all, I do.
Do you know what I mean? I absolutely did not roll tails.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You have plausible deniability.
Exactly.
So that group.
And then when they ask, well, did you roll heads? You can be like, I am offended.
Yeah. I already answered your question. I said good day. They call that group the radically dishonest. These are people that are so dishonest. They chose to be dishonest before having to be.
Yeah,
right? They didn't have to
radical.
They didn't have to be liars. They just were going to be liars the whole time.
Super rad. These people.
These people
are a dinosaur on a skateboard eating pizza. That's how fucking rad they are. They disgust
me. I am offended at their very existence. These are the people that I fight against every day. These are my mortal enemies. All right, the radically dishonest. Okay. Then there were another roughly 10% who just kept flipping the coin until they got heads. So these are the people that are
D&D players. These are D&D players is what they're called. They're called Dungeons and Dragons enthusiasts. And what they do is they roll until they get exactly what they're looking for.
Well, these are the people that are the other side of your hypothetical that you just pointed out, where you can say, did you roll heads? Yeah, I did. Absolutely, yeah, I rolled heads.
100%.
They call these people cheating non-liars. That they are. There's a moral line that they have established that says, I will fucking cheat.
I love the etymology of this. The etymology of this is fascinating because, Jeff, would you consider cheating lying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
but these are cheating non-liars. I love that.
They're not willing.
We're really getting specific with this.
Their moral code says, I can't tell you I rolled heads if I didn't roll heads. I know the rules are roll once and report the value, but I'm going to keep rolling until I can safely say, I rolled heads and give me my $5.
But like, what's your AC? But like, what's your AC? Like, that's what's going on here. That's exactly what's going on here. And I fucking love it.
Do you which do you think is worse? Which do you think is worth? First, from my perspective, the people that didn't even want to fucking participate and just give me my $5, I'm not even going to bother. Those are the completely different stratosphere.
Those people are better to me.
They're just they're just honest with themselves. Like I wasn't. Yeah,
they're honest.
Be fair.
Yeah,
anyway.
They sat down. They had a goal, and like that's the thing. That's why I'm like I'm not. With the current climate, and of course, with the current climate, all we are talking about are people who are using bots to buy video cards and cheat at Fall Guys.
That's nothing all we're talking about. No other ramifications to this whatsoever.
There's nothing else going on in the world. But here's what I'll tell you. I'm not mad in the world. I'm not mad at the people that are the fucking bold-faced, fucking, I clearly cheated. I clearly didn't try. Just give me what's mine. Those are not the people. I'm obviously angry at those people. But the people that I am more angry at are the people that know and do not counter those people with everything they have. I know you're lying, but I guess if you're not going to tell me you're lying, I'll just back down. Eat shit. Those are the real terrible people. The people who are
There's the people who are rolling, to go around.
The people who are rolling every time until they get it. Those are the worst people because they live in this morally gray area that tells me that they think of themselves as good people. They have a certain moral code, I guess, but they're just going to, well, I didn't get it this time. And is it unfair that I get a second turn? I don't know, but like, I'll just take one. Like, I'll just take a second turn. And is it bad? Because I'm just doing, these are the people that yell at you when you make noise in your apartment, but are like loud all the time. And they're like, well, for us, it was just, we were doing this thing. It was just this thing.
Right. The rules don't apply to them people.
The rules don't apply to like, we don't do it all the time and blah, blah, blah. To me, the person who sits down and says, give me $5 or prove that I lied. Those are the people, these are raptors at the fence. You know what I mean? These are people that are like, oh, you want to cage me? You can cage me, but you better be sure the cage works.
Yeah. Those are the people that
There's nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned.
Anarchists. Those are the anarchists.
It's your fault for devising a cage.
Yeah. I'm
going to trying to keep me in.
Those are the other kind of D&D players. It's like, it doesn't say I can't do that.
Yeah, it's like, and up at the top is clearly where the evil person is with the treasure. I'm going to set fire to this town and go south. What?
Yeah, exactly.
I know you didn't plan for that, but I'm setting fire to the town. I'm going south.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's who I am. We've talked about that. That's who I am when I'm in VR. I'm like, yeah, but did you plan? I told you, like when they had me testing at Lucasfilm, when they had me testing the Vader Immortal VR, I tried to kiss Vader and hold his hand and they had nothing. They had nothing programmed in. They had no reaction for Vader. And they were like, you're the first person that's done that. I was like, I won't be the last. You better have planned for every move. I'm going to try to smooch Vader and hold his hand.
I don't know. I do think there's a distinction for me because part of what's so offensive from my perspective about the people that didn't even push the button is the fucking laziness. Like you didn't even try. You didn't even participate at all?
Part of that though, Jeff, is I think these are people that just want to see what you're going to do. Yeah. Like, can I be honest? Like, these are people that like, they have in the back of their head, they're like, they probably know whether I'm rolling or not. Let's see if they know whether I'm rolling or not. Right. Let's see if they know whether I'm flipping. Let's see what they do. Let's see what kind of experiment I'm in. You're going to give away what kind of experiment I'm in right now.
It's not the rules don't apply to me. It's what are the rules? I'm going to push up against the very notion of your rules, right?
Yeah, I call people who are like this, I always say, ooh, smart breed. It's like a husky. You know, like when you're training a husky or some other type of smart, like really smart breed of dog. These are the dogs that can do anything. The first thing you need to do is teach them that the rules are sort of absolute, right? Like, a husky will be like, well, I'm not allowed to steal cookies out of the jar. You told me that I can't do it. I'm smart enough to know where the cookies are. I'm smart enough to open the jar and get a cookie. But like, what if the jar breaks? Right? And you didn't tell the husky not to knock the jar off the fucking, you know what I mean? Yeah. When you're training police dogs or like seeing eye dogs or things like that, you always pick a smart breed, but then they're harder to train than any other. My beautiful, perfect prince is such a dummy. He was so easy to train. Such a well-behaved dog because he can't imagine anything outside the rules.
Right.
These are people who are imagining things out. I think the people who aren't rolling are the people who are just imagining. They're trying to see what the boundaries are. They're trying to see where your rules are. Whereas I think the people who are rolling over and over until they get heads, those are people who are just breaking the fucking rules. And they're trying to win by breaking the rules.
I don't. You're not going to convince me to respect the people that didn't even try, but I appreciate your effort.
Those people don't need your respect, Jeff. We don't need your respect. We've got $5, and we were out of that room faster than anyone.
It's true. The article is most fascinated with these cheating non-liars, the people that kept rolling, right?
Me too.
Right, because these are the people that were like the Nazi foot soldiers, right? They're like, well, I wouldn't do this on my own, but there's a plausible situation in my head where the person above me told me to do it. And so it seems like these are the people that rationalize, that go, there's wiggle room. And I think honestly, these people are most of us, right? This is, I'll speed because everybody's speeding. These are, everybody cheats on their taxes. Everybody, it's the white lie. The people that are, there's a rationalization for this on some level, so I'll do it.
Well,
but I'm not a bad person, know that.
Well, here's the deal. In everybody's head, we're all Captain America, right? We're all spirit of the law and not the letter, right? In our heads, it's like, well, they tell me not to speed, but like, this road is always empty, and like it's only like 10 miles over. It's not like reckless driving. It's just speeding. Right. Like I'll just answer my phone. I'll answer my phone just this one. I'll fix answer this text. I wouldn't normally, but this is like an important call. Yeah. Like, or I just don't believe in this rule, right? Like there are some things, and I'm one of these people where I'm just like, I think that rule sucks. I'm just like, I think that rule sucks. So I don't want to follow it. And if I get caught, and I'll argue it from there. But I think this rule sucks. But the fascinating thing is that they go through the extra effort, right? That I was criticizing the laziness of not pushing the button, but these people go through the extra effort simply to placate their own conscience, right? Yes. To say, I can't, you're right, I'm not different. Not the kind of person that's going to straight up lie and say I got a heads when I got a tails. I would never do that. So I will do these elaborate, these elaborate games to convince myself that I'm not a bad person by just continuing to flip it. If they really only wanted me to flip it once, the program would only let me flip it once. Right. It lets me do it. So I guess I must be able to. Yeah. And I'll only do one or two. Like I won't do 10. Like I wouldn't roll 10 times, but I can roll like 3. Yeah. I can do best of 3. Yeah. It's a fascinating thing. So do most people fall into that category? Is that what they're saying mathematically? No, it's small. It's small. I mean, they're saying that this is a very common occurrence in human psychology, but that the study, it was about 8% of the people. So they also had because they know they're being watched. Maybe. Because they know it's part of a study and they're being watched. And like, I think only 8% of people are brave enough to do what they want to do under that. Do you know what I mean? Maybe. I mean, I think more people would do that normally. It does seem like, I mean, I don't know what I would do. I don't know. I'd like to say that I would be Honest Engine, but I don't know what I would do. It's so strange to me too, that $5 is such a small number that people are just like, maybe that makes it seem like not a big deal. If it was like $100, people would be like, they'll find out I cheated and then I'll be in trouble. Yeah, maybe because it was such a small number. Like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Here's your $5 back. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a second part of the study, right? There's more activity in outer Spain. They did a second experiment with 170 different participants. These are not the same people. This time it was with a die, right? A single die that they could roll, a D6, a 6-sided die. If you rolled a 1 on your die, you'd get $1. If you rolled a 2, you'd get $2, all the way up to 5. For $5, if you roll a 6, no dollars, 0 monies. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they had a pretty similar breakdown for honest people, liars,
and radically dishonest people were still present. And the people who are cheating non-liars also 8% radically dishonest, didn't even roll the die at all. But this time, the fascinating new element is within each dishonest category, every single category of dishonest, as we break it down, whether it's just straight up liars who say, or the radically dishonest who didn't even participate, or the cheating non-liars, all of them had a modulation of how much they said they got. Fewer of them said, I got 5. But more of them were going for 3 or 4. So if you rolled a 6 and got nothing, you were more likely to say I got a 3 or a 4 rather than saying you got a 5, which statistically is no more likely, but it's just somehow less greedy and therefore less evil, perhaps, in your own head.
Right. Well, it feels more plausible, even though the odds are evenly distributed, right, across a D6. You have an equal percentage chance of rolling any of those numbers on the die. There's this thing where it's like, yeah, but it's really rare for someone to roll a 5. But no, it's not. No, it's not. It's,
right. It's exactly
that's a
the
human
same
misunderstanding of odds.
Right.
And so it's just kind of like, it's more believable to say that I rolled a 3, but it's not.
The authors of the study suggest that this is the quote that they said, the fact that they did not claim the maximum reward outcome may provide some protection to their concept of self. So you can say like, hey, it's bad that I lied, but I'm not the worst person because the worst person would have extracted the most amount of money. I just lied a little and just got $3. Rather than 0, rather than 1, I got 3. That's not bad. I could have said 5. I could be a real asshole, but I'm not.
I'm not.
Isn't that crazy?
No, I mean, yes, but no. Do you know what I mean? It is crazy, but once again, not surprising. Feels correct to me.
It is, to me, the gymnastics that we are all able, willing, and eager to do in our own heads to make ourselves not feel like bad people when there's no difference. There's no difference. I think I'm so self-aware of a study that if I went in for a study or an experiment, because we talk about studies and experiments every week. I think if I went in and they were like, only roll it once, I think I'd be like, yeah, okay. And I'd roll it once because I'd know they were watching. I'd know they were looking. I'd know they were trying to figure something out. And so I'd be like, okay. Well, it doesn't go into.
But let me tell you something. Am I going to fudge rolls tonight on the show? I don't know. Maybe.
I hope you don't.
Do you know what I
don't? I hope my players don't. I don't fudge rolls.
Your players definitely fudge rolls. Let me tell you something. You've fudged a roll too in your life.
I have. But as the DM, that's your privilege. You get to. I have fudged rolls, but mostly to help my players in the sense of like, okay, this fight has gone on too long.
See, Jeff?
This fight has gone on too long. I'm going to wrap it up.
But instead of figuring out a way within the rules and within storytelling to make that happen for your players, you have chosen to fudge a roll. You've justified that action in your mind. Whereas for me, I'm kind of like, well, what's best for the story? It's best for the story right now if I pass this roll.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking,
right. But that's cheating. We're both cheating.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily best for the story or the game.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right? Because that ain't true improv and that ain't true game playing.
No, right. You're right. But I do think that.
So you admit that you cheat every week on the dungeon run?
Not every week. No, not every week.
No. You admit that the dungeon run is a farce and a scam.
No, it's good storytelling. And I'm the dungeon master. And that master part means that I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Doesn't it? This is fascinating because I think there is a lot of this that goes on in our day-to-day lives. I think every day we are presented with a choice, no matter how big or small, and it is a moral choice. It is an ethical choice. And based on any number of things, usually like they're saying, either it's ego, right? How will I be perceived for doing this? Or fear of ramifications. Will I be caught? And what are those consequences? I think it's very rare that you run into somebody that tells an absolute truth or does the absolute right thing most of the time.
Yeah.
I think that's true. And we all have different reasons for it, right?
Right.
We all have different reasons for it. This will be better for this person. This will be better for their feelings. This will be better for me financially or comfortably or whatever. There are very few of us that don't sort of fudge the role.
Well, what do you think is worse, a liar or a cheat?
I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
I think it definitely depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
But I think that's the thing is when we're talking about big things like we're talking about right now, which is bots buying video cards and people cheating at Fall Guys, which are the two biggest problems facing reality right now.
The only thing
they tend to go hand in hand, lying and cheating. Are you more of a liar or a cheater?
Definitely. I mean, saying it out loud is pretty horrible, but I'm definitely more of a liar than a cheater. I really don't cheat. I don't think. I mean, I hope not, but I have cheated. I cheated in school. Yeah. I remember cheating in school, and I'm not proud of it, but I cheated in school. But I think I'm definitely more of a person that will, I'll do a dumb lie sometimes, it doesn't make any difference. I'll do a lie to get out of a conversation or something. Like
social situations make me a liar.
Yeah.
I think it's because of it's a mix of like my ADHD and my anxiety and like other things where it's just like, if I need to get out of a situation, a social situation, I 100% do. I'm getting better about it. I'm getting better about just saying like, hey man, I just can't deal with this right now. Like I'm not in a mental space to deal with it. But normally I'll try to make like a more palatable, like, I'd love to, but I'm busy at that time.
Right.
Which comes off really weird in the year 2020. Like, really, you're busy?
Yeah, you lost that ability.
The fuck is you busy with, dude? What are you doing at 2 p.m. on a Thursday where you can't do something else?
That's my nap time. Yeah.
Tell us, hey, concerned citizens, tell us on the Discord or on Twitter whether you are more of a liar or a cheat. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with us.
But if you're a liar, then maybe you can't. Okay, here's what you'll do. Tell us if the other person.
Yeah.
Isn't that
one
how
of you always tweets the truth, and one of you always tweets lies. Folks, that's the kind of joke you get from an award-winning comedy podcast like this one.
No,
and
we didn't win an award for comedy.
Oh, that's right. I'm lying.
We did win an award too.
We cheated. No, we didn't. We didn't cheat to win. We didn't cheat to win. That was clearly a Raptor at the gate situation. The Raptors didn't cheat, Jeff.
No, the Raptors did what the Raptors do. That's what the Raptors do.
Do what Raptors do. Listen, it doesn't matter whether we're cheaters. Shut up. That's not what we're talking about right now, everybody. What we're talking about is giving us money.
Give us your $5. Pretend we rolled a 5 on our die or got a heads on our coin, and give us that $5, please.
What do we do with that $5? We keep the show coming. That's what we do. We keep the show coming every week, but above and beyond that, we give you a little something extra for your time, and it's not for your time and your money, and it's not just $5. You can give as little as $1 and still get something out of it. You get access to our Discord, where you can hang out with other concerned citizens, other fans of the show, talk about anything you want to talk about. But we do give things like patron hangouts, bonus episodes, entire extra shows, extra content all the time. And it's the only way we fund the show. If you are so inclined, if you're enjoying the show, please head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns and help us out. Jeff, it's that time of year again.
Oh, pumpkin spice season?
It is pumpkin spice season, and I would like to talk about pumpkin spice, the flavor, for the next 30 minutes.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have nailed it. Oh boy.
Let's talk about it. What do you like most about pumpkin spice? Is it the pumpkin or the spice?
It is the spice.
It is the spice, right?
It is that spice.
How many pumpkin pies have you had so far this season?
None. You know why? The pie place next to my house that we get the pies from has not reopened from COVID. And I'm afeared. I need that pie. Got to have that pie.
Let me tell you something. When it comes to pumpkin pie, I don't need a special pie. Any grocery store $4 pumpkin pie, I just fucking love pumpkin pie, dude.
It's good. Pumpkin pie, pecan pie, all the pies of the season are good pies.
Love a harvest pie. Welcome to our harvest pie podcast. But also, it's it is the time of year for something else, Jeff. Something less important. And I think they would agree that they're less important. And
everything is less important.
Sure. It is the Ignoble Prize, Jeff.
The Ig Nobel Prize?
The Ig Nobel Prize. Jeff, think about a Nobel Prize. Think about the nobility of a Nobel Prize.
So this is like the ignominious version of the Nobel Prize.
This is if our podcast, instead of winning so many awards, so many fucking awards, but we don't like to talk about it.
No, why would we? Bring it up.
Instead of winning the awards, what if we were giving the awards? This is an award. This has been going on for 30 years.
We'd have to be a lot less self-absorbed than we are. We'd have to be a lot less...
Disagree. Disagree. Do you think awards-giving bodies think very little of themselves?
That's a good point. That's a fair point.
Yeah, when I watch the Oscars, what I think to myself is, boy, the Oscars don't take themselves too seriously.
Fair enough. We could give awards. I feel like we could.
Fuck, should we give awards at the end of this year?
Maybe we should. Maybe we need to give out the concernsies.
The concernies? The scaredies?
Scaredies.
The worries?
That's what it's called. The worries.
The worries.
Did you get a worry? Congratulations. The worry goes too.
Oh, no. Well, we could take some notes if we decide to do this from the Ig Nobel Prize. They've been giving this out for 30 years. These are awards for actual research, actual studies that were done. But Jeff, they're things that maybe we would consider less important than other studies, or maybe they were done in ways that are not as well. They're not as typical.
Safe? What did you say?
Safe or typical? Yeah,
typical. Okay, I like these already.
These are great. These were sent in by Michael Klepper, by the way, who focused on one of the awards that was given this year in particular. They're given in all of the categories that you would expect a Nobel Prize to be given in. So here are some of the good winners here. First of all, for acoustics, and this is the one that Michael Klepper was really into. This is a bunch of researchers that induced a female Chinese alligator to bellow in an airtight chamber filled with helium-enriched air.
So it was like, it had a funny Mickey Mouse voice, but it was a alligator?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So the intent was not to necessarily make the alligator squeak, but they wanted to see if they demonstrated vocal tract resonances, okay, which are used by mammals and birds as an indicator of body size. So like basically their vocal production systems give out sounds based on how big they are. And if those sounds are based on how big they are, then introducing helium should contract the sounds and make the sound different in a very specific way.
Hey, Jim, I used some of the grant money.
Yeah, on what?
Well, I bought two things, and I need you to not freak out when I tell you what they are. Okay. The first,
it's weird,
is an alligator. It's a very, very large alligator.
Oh, that's fine. That's what we study. We study reptiles. Great.
I thought you'd be okay with that. I thought you'd be down with that.
We've been looking for a new alligator. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a good deal. I'm really happy with the alligator.
You know what? I had a bunch of alligators bookmarked, and like the biggest problem for me is just choosing. You know what I mean? It's like that.
Well, that's why I took care of it for you. I took care of it.
No, I appreciate it. Great.
Okay.
What was the second thing?
I bought? Airtight helium chamber. Big enough for the alligator. Big enough for anybody. Really big enough for like a party. We could have a party in there.
Are you putting? We're not putting people in an airtight chamber with an alligator.
That's okay. Listen, that seems crazy. I know that seems crazy, but I needed to put the alligator in there first because where else am I going to put the alligator? You know what I'm saying? I bought the alligator. It was kind of an impulse buy, and I didn't know where to put it. And then
Are you the person who's been logged into my Netflix watching all the Hannibal and You?
Yes.
Did you? You're the one that watched Kiss the Girls on my Netflix, didn't you?
That movie is underappreciated.
We are not doing this. We are not doing this, Steven.
I think it's a good use of the grant money.
Another story that was the Nobel Prize for acoustics, the Ig Nobel Prize for acoustics, the Ig Nobel Prize for psychology.
Oh boy, is it examining the dudes that did the acoustic thing?
What the fuck is with those dudes? This is Miranda Giacomin and Nicholas Rule for devising a method to identify narcissists by examining their eyebrows.
Gotta look at those Trump eyebrows, baby. What are those eyebrows doing?
Oh, you let the code go. We're no longer talking about Fall Guys.
Oh, sorry.
People are on to us now.
Did I say a thing? I didn't mean to say a thing.
Oh no!
I meant the alligator
president is
in
a
the
horrible lying criminal. Oh no!
I meant the alligator in the helium tank is what I meant. The alligator in the helium tank.
So here's the thing. Grandiose narcissism is the type of narcissism that we see on TV, right? It's considered a dark psychological trait. It's the, me at all costs, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
Very
what's
familiar.
interesting, these researchers figured out that there are some people that can just tell a narcissist right away. Some of us have the ability to just look at people and be like, they're very charming, but I can tell there's something off. And what they found was they're mostly looking at the eyebrows.
Really? What do the eyebrows do? Is it the shape of the eyebrows or the movement of the eyebrows?
So eyebrows are among the most expressive features of the face, and the researchers found that people specifically look at the distinctiveness of somebody's eyebrows. They showed them photos of people. Some of them were diagnosed narcissists, some of them weren't. And the lesson here, I guess, according to the article, is beware of people with distinctive, well-groomed, and expressive eyebrows.
I will note that and log it. I do think if you're a narcissist, you're going to spend a lot of time grooming your eyebrows. I mean,
sure, you're going to spend a lot of time grooming everything, right?
Right,
so that
exactly.
makes sense.
There you go.
And then they're very expressive, and then their eyebrows are very groomed, and you're looking and you're like,
Yeah, I see what you're doing, eyebrows.
So here's
I
one.
raise my eyebrows at your raised eyebrows.
I bite my thumb at you, sir. For physics, these are people that determined experimentally what happens to the shape of a living earthworm when somebody vibrates the earthworm at high frequency.
Oh, Jesus. Hey, Jim, I used more of the grant money.
Okay, now after the alligator thing.
Yeah.
Two things. You remember the two things happened. Number one, I changed my Netflix password.
And I know.
Number two, apparently it didn't bum me out for too long because I think you hacked your way into my Netflix, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Is that you did or no, you didn't?
No, I definitely did, but you gotta work on a stronger password.
You gotta work on your eyebrows because you're all over the place. And then number two, we decided that you were not to spend any more grant money without approval.
No, I know. We definitely agreed on that. We definitely agreed on that. But there was a sale on worm vibrators.
That's not even a piece of equipment, Steven.
It is now. We've got a big one. I'm just telling you, the speed at which this thing goes. Woohoo!
Now, there is a reason for this, Jeff. Can you imagine why they're trying to figure this out? Why they're trying to vibrate earthworms? So here's the thing. If you vibrate a pool of water, right, at a certain frequency, you get those standing waves. Those are those waves that just look like they're still, right?
Yeah, right.
You've seen that happen. You've seen those YouTube videos.
Sure.
There's a Faraday waves, right?
Yeah.
So these two researchers were like, hey, a lot of living things are mostly liquid. Could you create standing waves on a living thing if you vibrated them at the right frequency?
That sounds like it would be painful. Is that painful for a creature that's mostly water?
Well, here's the thing.
Is this a government military application type of a situation?
This is a Russian study.
Okay, and rest my case.
The researchers chose earthworms for their experiments because they have a hydrostatic skeleton with a flexible skin and a liquid-filled body cavity, but also because earthworms are cheap and you do not need ethics approval to use them.
Did you just say earthworms are easy? I love that movie. It was on your Netflix account.
Yeah. That's it's early Jeff Goldblum at his best. No, earthworms are cheap, and you don't need ethics approval to use them. So the worms were immobilized with ethanol, placed on top of a Teflon plate that was vertically vibrated.
They came up behind them, had an ethanol-soaked rag, and they just, without the earthworm even knowing, put their little hand around their little earthworm mouths and just held it there.
The authors contend that their results can be used to develop new techniques for probing and controlling biophysical processes inside of a living body. This may be a less invasive way to create different processes inside of the body of a living thing. Or maybe they were just having a
shaking
good time.
some worms, shaking some worms.
Couple more.
So did they say what happened to the worm? Did it like fuck up the worm?
It looked like they did get the Faraday waves that they were looking for. Does not talk about whether they fucked up the worm, because once again, you don't ethically have to report that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
The economics award was really wild. They wanted to try to quantify the relationship between different countries' income equality and the average amount of mouth-to-mouth kissing. Do people kiss more?
If we make more money, we kiss on the mouth more, or we make less money, we kiss on the mouth more?
Now, this is economic disparity within the country, right?
I see.
How much does the upper class make compared to the lower class? And do those countries that have the larger disparities or the smaller disparities have more mouth-to-mouth kissing?
Some pervy shit, man.
This is some weird shit, right? But the reason behind it, I think, is very interesting. The idea is, in a country that has more income disparity and therefore more status inequality, people kiss more is what they found.
Get up on that mouth. That's all they've got.
Get up on that mouth. Exactly. It's kind of like, I'm worried that you may find somebody more upwardly mobile, somebody that's a better mate than me. By kissing more, we reaffirm our romantic match and our connection, therefore making you less likely to leave me for someone better.
If everybody's got the same amount of money, I ain't got to kiss you. What are you gonna? Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna kiss you. Give me $5. Okay. Well, hold on. Let me see if I have $5. Rolls a dice. Yeah, I have $5. Do you really have $5?
I'm not gonna put my mouth on you unless I need you to stay here.
In the past, they've done things like they've given awards for studies that have done things like tried to figure out which money is the grossest, which country has the grossest money.
Like disgusting gross?
Yeah, like which is transmitting more diseases and dirt and grossness. And it was like, I think it was Lithuania.
Lithuania has the grossest money?
Yeah.
What do they do with their money in Lithuania? I don't want to know. I don't want to know the answer to that.
It's not that people are doing gross things with their money. It's that the physical manufacturing and makeup of the money makes it more likely to hold on to disgusting stuff.
Fecal dollars. They're on
the fecal dollar system.
Yeah, I thought I should have known the fecal dollar would be the most disgusting.
Speaking of which, there was an award given for somebody. There's a classic, I guess, tale, an Inuit tale of somebody who was shunned and removed from their family, and all of their tools were taken away, and they fashioned an actual knife out of their own feces and saliva. And so there was a study to see if you could make a feces knife, a usable feces hunting knife, and the answer is no. The Ig Nobel
Jim,
Prizes,
I got bad news about the grant money.
Fuck. Okay, well, I've got bad news for you, because apparently my Netflix watch list put me on some sort of other watch list, and there's been a lot of law enforcement coming by.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Well, I didn't want to have to do this, but I'm going to put my mouth on you so you never leave.
So yeah, these are the Ig Nobel Prizes. What you win for the Ig Nobel Prize is $1 zillion, but they're Zimbabwe dollars, because Zimbabwe doesn't use their own dollars anymore because they were so
not
inflated.
Disgusting. Is that these are the least disgusting currency they could come up with?
Yeah, what it is these are the least disgusting currency. No, it's the most inflated currency. So giving somebody $1 zillion Zimbabwe dollars is the equivalent of giving them 40 cents. But this is kind of cool because it feels nice to get $1 zillion.
Yeah.
I love the Ig Nobel Prizes. I mean, they do seem like kindred spirits to me, Jeff. They're into the same things that we're into.
No, this is objectively better than the Nobel Prize. This is chef's kiss of prizes. In fact, we were talking about giving out the worries. I feel like they're doing our work for us already. I mean, this is if we assembled a team and we went to the trouble of transferring some money into Zimbabwe dollars, this is what we would come up with. This is what we would award.
I think we would have done worse in all honesty.
It's true. It's true.
I didn't hear about any of these stories. I do this every week.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So what do y'all think, concerned citizens? Which one of these, do you think these are award-winning stories? Do you think we should give out the worries? Let us know.
I mean, we do give out the worries for free every week to everyone.
We do. I give myself the worries every night.
Yeah, it's true.
You can let us know on Twitter or on Discord. Those are great places to find us. If you're wondering how to get onto that Discord, once again, I'd like to remind you that the only way to do it is to head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. For $1 a month or more, you get access to that Discord where a lot of fun things are happening. Speaking of which, Jeff, how was your internet usage this week?
Hey, really good. I've been using the Memento Mori channel. There's a lot of great support there, a lot of great ideas from folks about how to throw your phone into the sea. It's been great. I highly encourage all the listeners to hop into that channel on the Discord. Just $1 a month gets you into the Discord. And there's a lot of wonderful support. I mean, we joke, but it's genuinely useful to get people that are like, yeah, I feel better. I left my phone here or there. I put a box in my house and put my phone in it. I just stopped using it for a while. I desaturated the color. All these wonderful strategies. I melted
my phone.
Yeah.
In the microwave. The desaturating your color, the turning your phone to black and white, I did that this week, and my more frivolous internet usage was definitely down. Like, I could tell by screen time. It was like, oh shit. No, making my phone black and white made all of this shit less interesting to me, and so I stopped looking at it.
It's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just one of the channels we have. We have a cool science news channel. We have a channel for games and gaming. We have a channel for all kinds of things. And we also have one just to hang out and chat. Go check it out, and all of the other extra things you can get just by heading to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.